Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Big Brace. Welcome to a new video tutorial. In my channel, I don't have enough React tutorials. I have one Django and React full stack application. I have one tutorial explaining React for the backend developers, for Python backend developers specifically, and that might be it. And I thought to myself, I'm pretty good in React, so why not sharing this with the audience, with you guys? So basically what we're going to code is a React app that fetches data from an API to display a table of cryptocurrency data. And you or the user can search for specific cryptocurrency by typing its name in a search bar. And we will have a table. This table includes different attributes. For example, the rank, the name, the symbol, the market capital, the available supply, the price, and any other attribute that you can get of this public API from which we're going to fetch the data. And the application uses Axios library for the API calls. And also we're going to use React hooks, useState, and useEffect hooks to manage the application state. As far as the app's interface is very simple and includes a title, a search bar, and a table, as I said, with the selected cryptocurrency data. And before I show you the application, I would like to thank everybody who has been subscribing lately to the channel. Thank you so much for your support, for your feedback, for your interaction, and everything else. Also, I would like to thank our dear members of the channel. Thank you so much for your significant support. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and see what our application looks like. So, as I told you, the application's interface is fairly simple. We have here a title, Cryptocurrency Finder. We have a search bar where you can type your cryptocurrency that you're looking for only in small letters. So if you type Ethereum, you will have, based on the search here, everything that starts with ETHE, for example. But if we'll continue the whole word, so Ethereum, we'll get everything that is Ethereum, basically. We will have the symbol, we'll have the market capital, we'll have the price, the available supply. And of course, everything is up to date because it comes from this public API here. Now, this is the response, and if you will take a look, you will find everything that we are going to use in our application. So you will have the ID, you will have the icon, the name, the symbol, the rank, the price. You can increase or decrease the number of columns inside your application, right? So we'll have here the available supply. We have here the website URL, and we're going to use that. I'm going to show you why we're going to use that. We're going to use that here. So inside that logo, that icon, if you will click on that logo, you will be redirected to this cryptocurrency's website. Right? Let's try another one. Let's try the BNB, for instance. Right? And so on and so forth. All right, so this is our application that we're going to be building. I think it's very important for all the developers. Even if you're a backend developer, it's good to know React. It is something that certainly be useful and good to have under your belt. And don't forget that React is #1 JavaScript framework needed on the market, right? So yeah, take some baby steps, that's okay. And eventually you're going to build more complicated applications with React. So yeah, enough me yapping. That's the end of the introduction. Now let's go ahead and start coding our application. All right, so what we want to do now is to create simply a folder. Inside that folder, we're going to create our React application. And I have that folder created already. It's called crypto-app. You can create your own folder with your own name, of course. And inside that folder, I want to do npx create react app dot, which means that I want to create the React application inside that folder crypto-app. If not, if you choose to have a different name, you can do npx create react app, and instead of the dot, you type the name of your application. All right, but for now, I'm going to do dot enter to install my React application inside crypto-app folder. All right, good. The next thing that I want to do is to do npm install Axios. And Axios basically is an HTTP client. It's a promise-based HTTP client, which means that you can use Axios library to make HTTP requests to fetch data and return the resources to your application, right? Also, it supports promises. So I said it's promise-based, so it's supporting promises. You can do .then, right? So .then to do something with the result that you get from your request. Axios also does a lot of things, but it's beyond the scope of this tutorial. All right, so let's go ahead and open that with Visual Studio Code. For those of you who said that I always now use NeoVim, no, that's not right. I still work with Visual Studio Code. It's still my go-to code editor, right? So just to do some housekeeping, let's just delete all of that. Don't need all of that, right? Just also delete this, right? And we will be left with this. So let's go to app. Let's delete the logo. Let's also go to index and delete the report web vitals. This, all of that we don't need, basically. Also the index.css. Right, the report web vitals. Yeah, that's cleaner. And let's go ahead and start our application. So we'll do npm start. What's that? So yeah, for the logo I forgot to delete that. We're going basically to delete all of that, and I'm going to say hello. Save that, and there we go. I like to rename the app file to app.jsx, not JavaScript file. All right, let me just increase the font a little bit, and yeah, we can close that, and we will be good to go. So the first thing that I want to import here, obviously, is the Axios libraries. So import Axios from Axios. And I said we're going to use two React hooks, the useState and the useEffect. So I'm going to import those. So import useState and useEffect from React. Briefly, if you know what useState and useEffect is, that's fantastic. If you don't know, or if you forgot, let me just remind you. So useState is basically a React hook. It's a function, all right? It's used to manage the state within a functional component. useEffect also is a hook, which allows you to perform side effects in a functional component. Next, what I want to do is to go here about the return and define our variables. So basically what we want to do is to create two variables, search. And search is going to be the search variable through which it will have an initial state. And based on the search and based on the API, the search is going to change its state. So const search and const crypto. And this variable here is also going to be changed depending upon the crypto that we are going to return from the API. So for now, I'm going to call them like that. So these are two variables, right? But we don't need only two variables. We need to use the useState hook now. So in order to do that, I'm going to destructure this into two elements. So basically what we want here is a state of the search and a function to change the search state or to update the initial search state. So let's call that function setSearch. And instead of just string, we are going now to use our useState hook. And we're going to pass inside initially an empty string. Note that the useState hook takes an initial value as an argument and always returns an array with two elements. That's why I will need to have two elements here, right? The current state value and that function that will update the state value. And the same thing will go exactly with the crypto. So we will have crypto, and we will have also a function that updates that crypto. So we're going to call it setCrypto. And again, I'm going to use the useState hook, but instead I'm going to use an array. And why an array and not a string like here? Because simply we're going to return a set of cryptocurrencies inside an array. I want to make sure that you understand perfectly this part. So we have used the useState React hook in order to destructure our variables. We have two different variables, the search and set search function. A search is a state variable that will have an initial state passed inside the useState hook. And the set search is going to be used in order to update the initial search state. Similarly with crypto, useState is going to update the set of cryptocurrencies based on the crypto that we want to search. And let me now go quickly inside here, inside return. Here I'm going to use the use effect hook, but for now I'm going to just leave it empty. Use effect to fetch data from the API using Axios. Right, but for the moment we're going to leave it empty. Let's just concentrate on the rendering. I'm not going to return. Of course, I can create a separate component. I can create just a folder called components. Inside it, I can create, for instance, crypto.jsx, and then I can plug that here, right? We can do that. But since the application is really small, it's really absolutely not needed. We're going to waste more time. So let's go ahead directly and start by inserting h1 class. I'm going to give it a class name of let's say title, right? And we'll say crypto currency finder. All right, good. Let's just minimize a little bit for you guys to see better. All right, next I want to have an input field. So input with a type of text. So that's okay. Next I want a placeholder. So placeholder. And here I'm going to say simply search with small letters. And then I want onChange property. And onChange property takes a callback function, and we're going to pass the event handler, or E for short. And we are going to return, or we're going to use basically the set search function. The set search function, we are going to use it in order to pass the event handler and then the target or the value of the target that we are looking for. In short, the cryptocurrency that we'll be typing, we want the value to change based on our search. So e.target.value. Then I'm going to create a table. So let me just add a comment. Here goes the other cryptocurrencies. Then what I want is a table, right? We need a table. Let me just decrease the gap between that div and the table element. Then I want a table head. Then inside the table head, I will need a table row. And inside the table row, I will need table data cells. So we'll need different cells representing different columns, right? So the first data cell is going to be the rank. Let's repeat that. We're going to open the API website now. Name, symbol, we want also the market. We want the market cap. Want the price. And finally, I want the available supply. Right, of course, everything is stuck together. We're going to change that in app.css, but for now, I want to open the API. So Postman coin states public API. Right, yeah, obviously you can use that if you're working on Mac or Linux, the curl. And yeah, as I showed you before, this is what we are going to be using. We have used the rank now. We are going to get the price, the market cap, the available supply. Yeah, as I showed you. But let's just jump back and take this one here. We will need this. and we're going to, for now, put like that. We're going to use it. Now we want to do the table body, right? Because we have the table head, and now we need the table body where everything is going to be displayed from the API, right? So after the table head, we will have table body, and here we're going to filter to check for the chosen crypto. Let's just finish with the use effect hook. So what we'll simply do is to use effect hook, which takes two things: callback function and an array. So first, let's do like that. And also the second argument here is an empty array. We want to use the Axios library to get, you can use fetch, by the way, right? So Axios.get, and we want to use that here. So we'll use that here like that. And we'll use the template literals, and we'll close the parentheses. Then we want to take that response coming from the API, and we're going to use now the set crypto function. So set crypto function is going to take the res, or the response, dot data dot coins, and set crypto function is going to take the response dot data dot coins. I don't know why it's complaining. Import Axios from Axios, right? Just the capitalization of the is important, right? So that's basically our use effect. Let's break that down for a bit. So we said that use effect takes two arguments, a callback function and an array of dependencies. So the callback function here is the code that should be executed after every render, after every time you run your search. This array here is called dependencies array. It's really an optional parameter, and it contains a list of values that the effect depends on. So if any of the values in the dependencies array change, the effect will be rerun. If the dependencies array is empty, so the effect will only be run once. So that callback function is going to return what we will get from the API. Then it takes the response from the get request, and then using the set crypto function to get the res.data.coins. Okay, and then put all of that inside an array. All right, let's get back here to our table body, right? Because we will need a table body. So tBody, we'll do like that. And inside it, so that's basically an array of objects that contains information about our different cryptocurrencies. So now what I want to do is to take the crypto variable, and I want to filter. So let me just break it onto different lines here. So we'll do dot filter. And dot filter is just a method that will be used here to create a new array with all the elements that pass our arrow function that we're going to write right now. So that's an arrow function that takes here inside the value of the crypto that you're looking for. And that arrow function will return the value's name, right, that you are looking for, the name of the crypto that you're looking for. But you need to do it with lowercase letters. That's why we have written that you will need to type it in lowercase. And then don't forget to includes, so we will include the search. That's very important. So that val here converts the name property of each object to lowercase. We have our includes method, and this includes method is just a method that checks if the search term, the crypto that you're looking for, in the search variable is included in the lowercase name property of that current object being iterated over. Because what will happen is when you will type a crypto, there will be an iteration over everything that it's in the list. So hope that makes sense to you guys. That's not all, by the way. We will need let me just arrange that like this. The last method that we're going to be using is the map method. And the map method is going to be used to create a new array. In our case, just the table row for each filtered cryptocurrency object that will pass the dot filter method. So after it will pass the filter method, it's going to be mapped over using the value and the ID as parameters, of course. So let's do return, and we want to return just tags like that, and that's like React fragment. And we will need table row now. So the table row, I'm going to give it an ID of ID. So that table row is going to encompass different table data cells. So the first table data cell, I'm going to give it a class name of rank. We will need basically everything that we have created in the table head, right? So we'll need rank, name, symbol, market cap, and so on. So for the rank, I will need to return val.rank. And immediately you can find that some ranks have been just created. This JSON data, if you'll come here, you will see that the ID is Bitcoin. So if we'll go to the rank, if we'll do val.rank, that's exactly what we want to return. And if you will do val.price, you will get the price, val.volume, you will get the volume, and so on. Let's carry on. So let's create different ones. So now instead of the class name of rank, I want to create a logo, and we will embed inside the link to the website. So let's do that. So instead of, let's just delete all of that madness. So here I'm going to have an anchor with a horizontal reference instead of the string. We will have the val dot, what was it called? That's the one, website URL. So val dot website URL. We'll save. Let's go back here. All right, and then we need the image. So the image, the source here is going to be the icon. So again, you'll take a look. Yeah, here. So we'll need that icon. So we'll do val.icon, right? What's happening? Okay, let's continue here. Let's do alternative. We'll say logo. Let's do width. Let's give it 25 pixels, maybe. Oops. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Or maybe we can give it 30 pixels. Yeah, that's good. And after here, I'm going to add a paragraph and just say val.name. Next, we have the symbol. So let's do symbol. And here will be val.symbol. Okay. Next, we have market capital. Yeah, market capital, price, and available supply. Okay, so I will not need a class name here. And instead, just close that. Instead, I will use the math.round to round the value of the market capital, right? Because it will be a very huge number. We're going just to round it down. So to do that, I'm going to use the $ dot the math module dot round method and pass inside val dot market or market cap. So you can see here on the right side, have this acceptable number. And similarly, we will do the same with the price. because we'll have a lot of fractions, so we don't need that. So again, do math just like this, because I'm lazy. Programmers are lazy, right? So we'll do like that. Math.round, the same. Val dot, instead of market cap, we'll do price. And last but not least, we will have the available supply. So not give any class names. We don't need any class names for the available supply, and we'll do val dot name available supply. Oops. Okay. As it returned from the API, that means that all good. You can see that it's working. Bitcoin. That's odd, and the ranking is odd as well. I haven't noticed this. Hold on. I think there is something in this API here, in that link. So we'll do v1 coins skip. Skip equals to 0 actually, and we will have a limit of 200. I apologize for that mistake. So n limit equals to 200. So save, and there we go. That's much better. And if you will type Ethereum, yeah, fantastic. So you can see, guys, that's the main, the core of the application basically is to just fetch everything and return them. You can filter them, map them towards the correct ID, and I can say that we are done with the application. Only we need to style a little bit to be more beautiful than that. So let's go ahead now and style it. So let me just delete all of that. And yeah, it's imported. All right. So first of all, I will do app. So we'll give that minimum height of 100 VH, and height we'll set it to auto. Also the display, we'll do it flex. Flex direction is column, and align items center. You just make sure that this is 100%. Yeah, 100%. All right. And also gap, I'm going to give it 15 pixels. Also the padding, I'm going to give it 40 pixels. And let's have background image. Right, so the background image, we will say what? We'll give it linear gradient of different values. So we'll say to top, just make like that, right? To top, we'll have the hexadecimal value DFE9F3 with 0%, then white, and 100% gradients. All right, dot title, because we have dot title here, right? That we want to add just background, change colors, stuff like that. So what I want to do is to give it the color of, we'll say RGB of 255, 244, and 31. That's a bit yellowish. The background color, we're going to do, again, RGB, we're saying 4480. Right, that's better. Padding, we're giving 10 pixels, for example. Yeah. Border radius, we'll say 20%. Not 20%. Although 20% is not bad, actually. Yeah, let's do 15%. Actually, that looks cooler than the pixels. Now let's do the input. So the input here, padding, we'll do padding left. We'll say 5 pixels. And the font size, we'll do 18 pixels. Right, good. Then width we'll do 250 pixels. The height we'll say 30 pixels. Okay. And we'll say border, we'll say solid, 1.5 pixels. And again, RGB, we'll give it the same RGB of 4, 4, and 80. All right, and also let's give it border radius of 10 pixels. Let's do 15% again. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. Yeah, well, actually now I'm convinced that it doesn't look that nice. Let's do 15 pixels, and let's do for the title, let's do also 15 pixels. That's okay. All right, good. Now let's do the table. We'll say width equal to 100 pixels. Border collapse, border collapse. We can say, let's do separate. Then I want border spacing to be 0 and 1 em. All right, as far as the table headers, I want the background color to be, let's do RGB, again, 4480. Let's do that. And naturally, I will need to change the color to, again, RGB with that yellowy color. All right. And also I want text align to be center. Right, that's good. Next, I want the table row. So in the table body, for the table row, I want the text align to be centered. Right, good. Now for the rank, I want to make the font weight bold. Right. Also, I want the logo. I want the display for the logo to be flex. Yep. And we'll do justify content center. We will do also give it padding to the left. We'll give it 10 pixels. Yep, that's great. And we'll do a gap of 10 pixels. Yeah, that's cool. And that's basically it. This is our application, guys. We can search for Ethereum. That works perfectly. Bitcoin, everything with Bitcoin. If we'll type nonsense, nothing will be displayed. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support, your feedback, your questions. If you have anything that it's not clear in this tutorial, please let me know. If any of the methods, any of the React hooks, I started to work on React, even doing some shorts on different concepts in React. Hope this will be useful to you. I know that YouTube is full of tutorials on React, but I'm doing my best here for you guys, trying to explain everything in details. So again, thank you so much, guys. I will see you in the next tutorial. Till then, stay safe and be well. Take it easy, guys.